presentación de vocabulario nuevo es el vocabulario de lección 7. Se dice buen provecho, comidas y bebidas nuevas o comidas nuevas. Recuerdan que tienes tu lista del vocabulario. En la primera parte necesitas escribir una descripción de la comida. Para empezar, tenemos la comida se llama los yapingachos. Yapingachos son de Ecuador. Aquí es una foto de yapingachos. Y yapingachos son como un panqueque de papas. So this is almost like a potato pancake. So this is kind of the national dish of Ecuador. And it is made from pureed potatoes that then are stuffed with cheese. Sometimes they have meat in them depending on who's making them, but traditionally they are stuffed with cheese and then they are pan-fried. So it's like a potato pancake from Ecuador. Also, sometimes they will put what do I want to say, like lettuce and tomato, sometimes even a fried egg on top of it. So you can eat them like that, or you can eat them with something on top of them as well. Okay, ahora tenemos el flan. Many of you are familiar with flan, and flan is a custard dessert. There's kind of a debate on where flan originated, either from Spain or from Mexico. Both countries kind of claim it as their own, so there's a little bit of a debate there. But it is a caramel custard. Some of you have, like I said, have tried this before, and depending on, a lot of people either love it or hate it, and it depends on the texture because it is kind of that pudding, creamy, custardy texture. Okay, la yuca. La yuca is a plant. This is the root of a plant. It originates in El Caribe. So there you can see the, it's almost like, it's a plant, but it kind of looks like a tree, but it is more of a plant, and this is the root. And it looks like a potato, but it's very, very bland. It's starchy like a potato. And here you can see these are yuca fries. So you could even fry them up and treat it like a potato. So it is a very starchy vegetable from the Caribbean. Okay, los nopalitos is the term for a cactus that originates in Mexico. So it's kind of odd to think that you might eat a cactus, but nopalitos, there you can see the cactus where what are they called? The thorns, I guess, are removed. And here you can see that you peel the cactus and you chop it up. And then you can actually put it into a salad with onion and tomato and a little bit of vinaigrette and make a cactus salad out of it. So, and then the white flecks are cotija cheese, which is kind of like a Mexican feta cheese. So you can buy this jarred. Around here it's hard for us to get fresh cactus. So you can buy it jarred, and we'll try some of that salad in class. Okay, another food is la jicama. Es de Mexico. Now, jicama, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's a fruit or a vegetable. I'm pretty sure that it is considered a vegetable, but it is a little sweet. As you can see there, it kind of looks like a turnip. I don't know if you're familiar with a turnip. Well, now that, yeah, you probably are. So it is white. It's not as starchy as the yuca. It's kind of a crisp, almost like an apple texture. And it's crisp and it's a little bit sweet, right? And it originates in Mexico. All right, el tomatillo. El tomatillo looks like a little green tomato, but it's actually not related to the tomato at all. It's related to the gooseberry, and you can kind of see at the top of that, at the top of the photo, there's a husk around it. So you would peel that husk off, and then that tomato-like fruit is actually it's very hard, it's very dense, and the place that you've seen el tomatillo, perhaps, is if you've ever tried green salsa in a Mexican restaurant, that is made from tomatillos. Okay, so la concha tiene origen en el Caribe, and it is a type of shellfish, so it is a shell, okay, and that's a typical looking, and we call this conch in English, okay, so this is a conch shell, and inside the conch shell, that is the creature that lives inside of it. It's kind of freaky looking, and you can pull that guy out of there, and you can make conch fritters. So you take the conch and you chop it up, and then you mix it with batter and kind of fry it like you would a hush puppy. There's also conch stew. There's all kinds of conch dishes in the Caribbean. So if you were to go to the Caribbean, you would definitely try conch fritters. Okay, la pitaya is de Mexico. La pitaya does have an English term. In English, it is called a dragon fruit. It's a very beautiful fruit. It doesn't have a whole lot of taste. If I can get a hold of one, I'll grab one and you guys can taste it. But the inside is a white, fleshy kind. Those are black seeds, and it's pretty, but it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. Sometimes in Mexico, they make agua fresca out of this, so they would make a drink out of it. Okay, we've talked about empanadas before. Empanadas are kind of, they originate all through South America, and empanadas are essentially like a little pie, like a handheld pie that is fried, and they can come sweet. So here's an example of some empanadas that have like a fruit filling, or they can be savory, and here's an example that has meat and olives, and I can't tell what else is in there, but you can put anything in an empanada and fry it up. So we will try to bring in some empanadas for a food day. All right, this is a pupusa, and a pupusa is basically the national food of El Salvador. Now, it may look similar to a yapingacho, because it does look like a patty that's fried in it, or pan-fried, and it has like a stuffing in it. However, that's not potatoes on the outside. That is basically cornmeal. Okay, so it's like corn flour that you make into like a thick tortilla, and then you stuff it and fry it. So it's almost like a stuffed gordita, if you will. All right, so it's got a very like corn flavor to it, where a yapingacho is potato. Okay, la lengua de res. Now we're going to get into the weird stuff. So, lengua de res is de Mexico. So, there you would often find, when we talked about el taco real, here you have tacos reales de lengua. Okay, so there's a picture of lengua tacos. And there is a picture of a stew that contains lengua. And if you're wondering what lengua is, it is beef tongue. So, you might recall from the article that in Mexico and many countries, the entire animal is taken advantage of. So every part is used. So it's very, very common to cook also with beef tongue. So I'm teaching you these things. So if you ever travel and you're at a taqueria and you want to order real tacos and you see lengua, you can make a decision on whether or not you want to try tongue tacos or steer clear. Okay, el mondongo is a stew, and it originates in El Caribe, and La República Dominicana tends to claim it as its own. It is a stew, as you can see. I wanted to show you this particular stew because right in the middle here, this is a tripe stew. Now, if you don't know what tripe is the inside lining of, I believe it's the lining of a cow's stomach. Okay, so kind of gross, but I wanted to show you in case you ever see that on a menu or want to try it or whatever, that's what's in there as well, and it's the national dish of La República Dominicana, el mondongo. All right, chapulines son de Mexico. Now, chapulines are street snacks. So when you walk the streets of Mexico, you will find vendors selling everything. You know, you could buy churros, you could buy tacos, you could also buy los chapulines. And if you're wondering what chapulines are, they are fried grasshoppers. So you could give those a try if you ever go to Mexico. All right, rabo de toro is from Spain. Now, toro you might associate with Spain, toro being bull. So bullfighting being big, especially in southern Spain. Parts of the bull after the bull dies in a bullfight are prized eating as well. So the rabo de toro traditionally, that is the bull's tail. It's now called oxtail. So the bull's tail used to always go to the bullfighter. And it's very meaty, and you cook it down for a long time, and it's actually really, really good. So that is something that I've tried, and I would recommend trying that as well. All right, las criadillas. So speaking of bulls in Spain, another thing that would be very popular are bolas de toro or las criadillas. And you could probably assume what bolas are. And what they do is they take the testicles of the bull, and you can buy them, as you can see there. They're for sale there in the market. And you take them home and fry them and eat them. No, I have never tried them, and no, I don't think I would. But if you're ever someplace and somebody says, hey, gringo, you want to try the criadillas? You know, you can make a decision there on whether or not you want to say yes or no, okay? All right, so that kind of wraps up our bizarre foods from other countries section. So now I'm just going to kind of quickly run through the other vocabulary words. So the first thing that we have is seafood, which is los mariscos. Specifically shrimp, or el camarón. To make it plural is los camarones. Notice how we lose the accent mark. Lobster is la langosta. Crab is el cangrejo. All right, squid is el calamar or los calamares. So you might know squid as calamari in Italian, so that's how it's related in Spanish. Calamar, calamares. Bacon has two words. It's el tocino or el bacon. El bacon obviously being the, the newer version of that word. All right. Sausage is generally la salchicha. If you're in Mexico, they're more likely to call it el chorizo, which is a spicier Mexican sausage. All right, pumpkin is la calabaza. That word is reserved for basically all squash, all right, is la calabaza. So you may not always know what you're getting if you ask for a calabaza. A sweet potato has a lot of names. Two big ones are la batata or el ñame. If you travel, you might find another word for a sweet potato, so don't say I didn't warn you. All right, avocados are el aguacate. Watermelon is la sandía. Grapefruit is la toronja. This is a pomegranate. Pomegranate seeds are kind of having their moment right now, so you can see it's called la granada, which in Spanish means grenade. So you can see it whole there on the left-hand side, and then you break it open and you eat the seeds. So that is la granada. It's a pomegranate. A peach has a couple words as well, el durazno or el melocotón. So just you can pick the one that you know. I learned el melocotón. I never knew durazno until I began teaching. A pear is pretty straightforward. It's la pera. A plum is la ciruela. Cherry, la cereza. La frambuesa for raspberry. La fresa, strawberry. Okay, so that slide is an activity that we will do in class. So that ends our vocabulary presentation for today. So don't forget to fill out the Google form. Gracias. Adios.